WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Making a change that impacts others. That's what one area organization strives to do. Dream Center Golden Triangle started Beds for Kids to help families with unmet needs. Our Desmond Matthews talks to members of the group about how they're helping folks in the community get a good night's rest. Take a look.
Kids have to sleep on the floor, and we all have beds, so we don't have to sleep on the floor, and we're making beds so they don't have to sleep on the floor.
Find a need and fill it, find a hurt and heal it.
That's the slogan for Dream Center Golden Triangle. The idea to create the nonprofit organization started just 2 years ago. Members with Adopt-A-Block saw several children without a place to lay their heads at night. Shortly after seeing the need grow throughout the GTR, the entities partnered to form Beds for Kids. So far, hundreds of families have been impacted.
We've placed 542 beds thus far throughout the Golden Triangle, and each week we see that the need is very, very real. It's amazing to realize how many children do not have a bed.
John Allman is the founding director of Dream Center. He says nearly 1,000 kids in the area are in need of a bed. So they're rolling up their sleeves to help bring that number down. On Saturday, Dream Center volunteers and their partners at Camgen in Starkville set up a workshop. The goal, build 20 beds for families in Oktibbeha County.
By helping sponsor the funds needed to put these beds together, and then providing some volunteers to partner with the Dream Center and assemble these 20 beds that will go to families that need them here in Oktibbeha County and get kids up off the floor.
It's not just Camgen and the Dream Center that make this process whole. Every piece of wood came from Bard's Forest Products in Macon, and every tool came from Ford County Power Electric Association.
Even though volunteers aren't directly in contact with most families, they believe they're building those connections with them through the construction process.
In Mississippi, we definitely have some impoverished communities, and being able to give back to those impoverished communities, since we don't really have a large tech presence here. Really, on a Saturday, I'm probably cutting the grass, and that's not really helping anybody. So this is a lot bigger of a project, and it feels good to be able to give back.
A work in progress brings a beautiful finished product. At least 5 of the beds built on Saturday will be delivered and set up on Wednesday. And those kids will get more than just a place to lay their heads.
The bedding, all of the bedding, hygiene materials for each child gets their own hygiene kit with personal and dental hygiene. The children get Bible stories.
In Starkville, Desmond Matthews, WCBI News.
All right, and that's a great story. You can find more information on our website, WCBI.com.
Well, everything is just great here in Columbus right now. Maybe a few clouds up there in the sky, but that's really not doing us any bother right now. Temperature is actually looking very, very good across the region. High 70s, low 80s, very, very warm outside. It's kind of going to stick that way as we get into our Sunday now. As for overnight temperatures, well, we don't drop too much, which is good because the night is going to be very, very comfortable, getting into the upper 60s. So we're now getting to that point in the spring where we have very, very comfortable days and very, very comfortable nights. So you're going to enjoy that while it lasts, because we do have more warming coming up later in the month. Stephanie?
Starkville held its 3rd Pride Parade this afternoon. The celebration started at the Fire Station Park. Hundreds marched through downtown Starkville. The first Pride Parade in Stark Vegas kicked off back in 2018, but was canceled the next 2 years due to the pandemic. Folks today across the Magnolia State made their way to support members of the LGBTQIA community.
It doesn't matter if you're in the capital city, if you're in Starkville, or even in Oxford. It does not matter where you are in the state. The LGBT community is definitely underrepresented. So just having that presence and letting people know that we are here, that we do exist, and we're living with pride. And it's really impactful to see us and other organizations come together and band together.
All right, and folks are expected for the parade to go bigger and larger next year. A beauty pageant that raises money to send a future law enforcement officer to the police academy has wrapped up. The 2nd annual Miss M17 pageant attracted more than 120 contestants of all ages. Our Allie Martin has more on the story. Take a look.
One by one, they walked or were helped across the stage by a parent. Contestants in the second annual M17 pageant ranged in age from 6 months to married. All of the money raised will send someone to Police Academy through the Deputy Dylan Pickle Memorial Scholarship. Deputy Pickle was killed when he was struck by a car while manning a safety checkpoint in Monroe County in July of 2020. Dylan's mother, Debbie Pearson, wanted to do something to honor her son's lifelong dream of becoming a police officer and also help someone else achieve theirs.
Y'all, the support and the love I've been given since day one has been phenomenal. I mean, it's been not surprising because Dylan was so loved, but I can't think of any better way to take my tragedy and my heartache and turn it into something good as to honor him in a way like this.
MCs for the event are current and former beauty pageant winners who all want to do their part to support those behind the badge.
I support law enforcement, and I think that as a society we should come together and support law enforcement.
I'm here because Miss Debbie has always been like family to me, and it just is it made a big impact on my heart how strong she is and how she's keeping Dylan's memory alive, and I just think today is a really important day.
Miss Debbie has put a lot of hard work and passion into what she does, and so it's so important to support law enforcement. They're the backbone of the community and the country. They protect us. They lay their lives on the line for us every single day, and it's so important to support the next generation of law enforcement officials.
The next recipient for the scholarship will be named sometime in the fall, helping to keep the memory and legacy of Deputy Dylan Pickle alive, a deputy who is gone too soon but will never be forgotten. In Amory, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
For a complete list of winners, go to our website, WCBI.com. Tupelo's Gum Tree was the site of a very special event today. It was the 15th annual Moving Communities Forward Festival. Tupelo Councilwoman Nettie Davis says it's a way to build a better relationship between the community and the police department. She says Tupelo has known excellent police chiefs, including the current chief who was sworn in January. Davis says things have really improved in the past decade and a half. Coming up next, Ukrainian President Zelensky addressed and answered questions on the ongoing war. We'll have more details after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News with Stephanie Poole.
Welcome back. In a news conference at a Kyiv subway station, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin plan to visit Ukraine's capital on Sunday. The White House, State Department, and Pentagon declined to comment on what will be the first official visit by U.S. government officials since Russia invaded Ukraine just short of 2 months ago. Meanwhile, Russia is stepping up its offense across large parts of Ukraine. Here's the latest.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's not afraid of Russian attempts to take his life. On Saturday, Zelensky held a news conference from the crowded platform of a subway station in the capital, Kyiv. He says he would like to meet with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, but only if Putin's forces stop the deadly onslaught in Ukraine's besieged southern port city of Mariupol. A Ukrainian presidential advisor says Russian troops have resumed airstrikes there and are trying to storm a steel mill. Ukrainian soldiers and civilians are trapped at the plant that Putin this week ordered sealed to starve troops into surrendering.
Russia is terrorist because there is so much evidences, just Bucha, Mariupol, other Ukrainian city where you can see these atrocities and terrible war crimes.
Ukraine says Russian missile strikes on the southern port city of Odessa killed several people and injured others. To the northeast in Kharkiv, firefighters battled blazes in the aftermath of more Russian bombardments. Residents said they can't understand why civilians are being targeted in this war. And there will be no Orthodox Easter services at this northern Ukraine church. Russian invaders all but destroyed the house of worship, which survived World War II. Michael George, CBS News.
Well, temperatures tonight getting into the upper 50s. We got some cooler temperatures coming up on the horizon. I'll have more on that coming up next.
Your WCBI First Alert Accuweather Forecast with meteorologist Jackson Chastain.
Well, we do have some clouds moving into the region, but the good news is that none of it is rain associated. It's just clouds. So what it's going to do is just going to make the skies more gloomy, maybe, but the temperatures aren't going to change all that much. Looking at temperatures really across the board in the 80s right now. Certainly that is the case in Columbus. Maybe a little bit of a light wind there too. But again, these clouds not bringing any rain today or overnight. So that's good news for us. This view, by the way, thanks to our Alpha Insurance Skycam. But as we get into tonight, temperatures not dropping too much either, only getting into, well, temperatures right now across the board in the low 80s, maybe mid 80s, depending on where you are, a few outliers there. But getting into tonight, high 50s is kind of what we're looking at, and maybe a few clouds move in or move out. As I mentioned, those clouds right now moving in, but high 50s, maybe low 60s, so pretty comfortable overall. And really, we get into Sunday. Sunday also looking very, very comfortable. Now Monday, that's when the case changes. We do have some rain coming in on Monday. That's associated with a cold front that's going to come in kind of in the late afternoon, early evening hours, and that rain is going to really stick around for quite a while, all the way into Tuesday, where temperatures drop down into the upper 60s. So just going to time that out for you real quick. As we get into Monday, right around lunchtime is when we start to see more of these showers and thunderstorms making their way through the region. And as we get later into the day, into the early and mid and late afternoon, as I mentioned, you start to see a lot more of this rain along this northeast to southwest axis as a stationary front slash cold front kind of makes its way into the region. So kind of a complex situation here, because you have a cold front up to the north that's making its way through, and then you have a stationary front off to the south, and we're kind of at that boundary right there. So it's going to be kind of messy storm-wise. I don't expect anything severe, but again, there's going to be lots and lots of rain that is likely to move through the region. And as we get into the overnight hours, that rain really does stick around. 7 a.m. still hasn't made its way out of the region, so it just kind of sets up over the Golden Triangle, over northeastern Mississippi, and then kind of just sits there for the next several hours into that overnight hour. So folks, if you're really planning anything, just be prepared as you head out the door on your Tuesday and as you're heading back from work, or if you're going outside on your Monday, because rain chances at both points are something to be watching out for. Thankfully moving out by the time we get to that 12 p.m. hour for the most of us. So maybe a few raindrops for southeastern counties, but most of us should be in the clear by the time we get to lunchtime. Now, as for the rest of the week, well, we have that cold front coming through, drops things down. We get back up to the 80s by the time we get to our Friday. Then Saturday, we have yet another cold front, more storm chances, more cooler temperatures. Stephanie?
Yep, Mother's Day is right around the corner, and it's time to start getting your gift ready for your loved one. Mandy has a cool idea for a couple of homemade crafts. Here's Mom to Mom.
Today on Mom to Mom, we have an easy yet adorable Mother's Day gift. Take it from this mom, handmade gifts are always welcome for Mother's Day. So today we are making Handprint Tulip towels. All you're gonna need are some tea towels, which you can get at a craft store, Amazon, Walmart, some fabric paint, some toilet paper rolls, some paint brushes, and a permanent marker. Now, let's grab the kiddos and make these fun tulip handprint towels. So first we're gonna start with the tea towel. We're gonna make sure it's nice and flat. Then you're gonna take your kid's hand and paint it. Then you're gonna press it right onto the tea towel. Gently lift the kid's hand up off the tea towel. If there's some spots that didn't really take, that's okay. You can fill it in with a paintbrush. Now you want to make the stem. And if you feel like your kids are gonna mess it up, you can always paint the stem for them. Now on to the toilet paper rolls. This is why I like to have these, because it's super easy to create a leaf. So you're gonna take the green paint and put it on a plastic area. Then you're gonna dip the paper roll into the paint. Then once you have it dipped into the paint, you're gonna squeeze it into the shape of a leaf, and then you're gonna press it onto the stem. Once you pull that off, you can fill it in, your kids can fill it in, just have fun with it. Then I like to have the kids personalize it a little bit. I have them write their name on a piece of paper, and then I trace it on to the tea towel for them, how they wrote their name in a Sharpie. And it's just super personalized. It looks like they wrote it on there, and it's easy all the way around. These are great for grandmas, the mom, or anyone who the kid has a personal relationship to. If you happen to do this, I would love to see those pictures. You can post it to our Facebook page, and we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
Mom to Mom is brought to you by Pediatric Dentistry of Columbus.